And here we go. Alan Roberts, this is Dr. Alan Chen sitting next to me. We have come back. It looks like I might be a little glitchy. I might switch cameras. But we are back to talk about, basically another episode of We Told You So. They have recently flipped the food pyramid upside down and reduced the number of vaccines by fucking
a lot.
55, right?
It looks like about 40%, yeah, at least. Depending on who you are, obviously.
Yeah. I think we have a delay.
Progress.
So I tell you what, folks. Alan, take it away for a second.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Hey, guys, how's it going? How's everybody? I think this is Alan and I's first show in the new year, so hopefully everybody's having a great new year so far. I can tell you for sure that I'm the same schmuck that I was in 2025. We have some technical difficulties with Alan for right now, but I'll get things underway. So, all right. We'll start with the vaccine schedule. So I looked at it briefly and realized, like, oh my god, this is easy to read. It's actually like short. it's they only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 diseases that they're recommending, and then they have a separate group for high risk groups, and then the other is based on shared clinical decision making. So for one thing, I think they made it much simpler. It's the old schedule. If you guys have seen the old schedule, the way that they had it designed was like this big ass graph where they had all, like, I don't know, it's like fucking 20 different diseases that the vaccines cover for, and then they had like this like time period where it's like anywhere from 0 to 18 years, and it was kind of a pain to look at in general, and it's also really hard to follow. I felt like for parents, especially, even if you want to be compliant with all the vaccines, it was still like hard to figure out, okay, like, when do I need to have my child see the pediatrician, in this day, blah blah blah. So anyway, yeah, I think it's a lot simpler. I think it's much, we're getting towards progress. There's some things that I still disagree with, in terms of what could it put in the green category for all children, and so on and so forth. But we'll kind of get there in a second. And it looks like we got Alan back.
No, hang on.
Uh-oh. Well, we just got started on the back. Well, we just got started with the vaccine topic, and just it's basically saying that it looks easier to read, easier to follow, and there's a little bit more wiggle room for pediatricians and patients to be able to kind of use the vaccine schedule according to their best needs, which I think is a positive change. I don't think they were going to get rid of the entire recommendation schedule in its entirety. That would be really hard to do. That would have been the ideal scenario for a lot of people out there who are really anti-vaccine for a lot of reasons. But I think this is sort of the compromise, if you will, and we'll see if any further changes have come up. So I can't, unfortunately, showcase your comments, but let's see how we're doing with Alan here. Checking back with Alan. You are muted, sir. This proves that we're not AI, guys. This is all live. We're not AI yet. I mean, I'm sure there are people trying to make their own AI likenesses of themselves so that they can be immortal, but we're not quite there yet. That's for sure. But anyways, I'll continue talking. The stuff in the green category, which is recommended for all children: diphtheria, tetanus, pertussis, polio, measles, mumps, rubella, MMR. That's the one I disagree with. Chickenpox also I disagree with. Haemophilus influenza, pneumococcal conjugate vaccine, and then HPV is another one. Those are my top 3 disagreements: HPV, chickenpox, measles, mumps, rubella. I probably agree with most of what's on this list actually, but those are my top 3, just based upon risk factors in general of kids. And
How's
also
this?
a little loud on the loud side. You got a little bit of feedback going on there.
Okay, give me 1 second.
Yeah, using a portable mic.
Yeah. Is that better?
Yeah. So anyway, just to finish my point though, with the vaccine schedule, some things to think about for everybody out in the audience is, if you do get the disease, what happens? Like, is it life threatening? Will it cause morbidity? And then you also have to look at, well, what are the risks of actually getting it, and what are the risks of not getting it? So you have to weigh it's the risk and benefit analysis that you have to make with all these. And back in the day, and Alan, you could attest to this. Like, did you get chickenpox?
I did get chickenpox. Actually, my mother sent me to get chickenpox to a friend's house that had chickenpox.
Yeah,
it's one of the things. Like right now, like I was away for a minute, but like they talk about measles. Measles is actually not deadly to most people.
Correct.
And I just find it that it's just another thing of fear and them pathologizing every little thing. Like the way natural selection works is like the strong survive. So people get infected with diseases, they develop robust antibodies and healthy immune systems, and they would be the ones that survive. We're just stepping in the way of that. It's like I don't want to talk to you about this offline, but
sure.
one of the things I plan on doing, I don't believe ADHD actually exists. Like I don't believe it actually exists as a disorder. Like
I actually agree with you. Yeah,
I think we've pathologized healthy traits of hunters gatherers, people that make very 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 hard quick decisions. Like we've somehow made that a problem.
Yeah.
And so the more I've read about it, and me and you have talked a lot about like diseases of exclusion, and anytime there's a disease of exclusion, all I see anymore is a way for the pharmaceutical and healthcare industry to somehow make money.
Yeah.
Like I hate to even sound like that, but that is where I've gotten to, where I truly believe that is, like, anytime it's a disease of exclusion. By disease of exclusion, like me and Alan and I have talked about fibromyalgia. Like there's not a test. Like nobody can give me an actual test to tell that I have ADHD. Now I am clearly, and I mean clearly, not neurotypical. Like, I mean, just when you talk to me, when like I interact with people, I'm super socially awkward a lot of times. Like I obviously have some sort of something going on. But to say it's negative, I would argue that I have a rather extremely high IQ. I have done physical and career-wise things that most people can't do. I've written books. I've done, like, I would argue, like, what people say is wrong about me is what makes me me in the best ways, type thing. And so I think that, like, they've pathologized a lot of this stuff, and a lot of this stuff, like a lot of people that get diagnosed with ADHD, like 90% of the initial of the people that initiate the medication are teachers, because teachers can't deal with kids in class, which is super fucked up if you ask me, right? Like that's just not a healthy way to go about that shit at all, right? But then also, so the person's impulsive. Why are we trying to medicate that out? Like, and not only trying to medicate it out, we're trying to medicate it out of children who we don't give any, like, if your kid's hyper, the first thing you should do is stop giving your kid fucking sugar. Like the very first thing, because sugar for a hyper kid is very, very bad, right?
Oof. Yeah, tell me about it. Yeah.
So
yeah, no, you made a broader point that I actually have thought about for a long time. Psychiatry is the pathologization, but that word, pathologization, the pathologizing, whatever the word is.
Right.
Psychiatry is pathologizing normal human emotions.
Right.
And maybe some of it may be extreme than others. Like depression, anxiety is one of the top two psychiatric diagnoses. You can say that for the same thing. Like, um, we're pathologizing that, and we're saying it's a bad thing. Whereas actually, what those two things are feedback mechanisms to yourself as to, like, hey, maybe I should do something about my life, for example. Like, or actually go out and take some action or whatever, rather than what they're recommending, or not what they're recommending, but like the medications they cause you to, actually fall into depression more, like making you less active, making you like kind of like a shell of yourself, essentially. That kind of will make it worse over time. So there's a big conspiracy theory, if you will, tinfoil hat theory about that. Yeah, for sure.
I don't even think it's that much of a conspiracy theory. I really don't. First of all, with the excuse to pathologize out positive traits for whatever reason, that immediately takes the side of it. Like, I wish, and my parents actually did do this, but like, because I have a cousin who's one of the smarter people probably on the planet. Like, he'd be like biochemical engineer, one of those people that like will have a bright idea at midnight and go sign into his secret lab. Like, it's crazy, right? And he's awesome. But when he was very, very little, his parents put him on Ritalin because obviously, like, not neurotypical, right? And it fucked him up bad, right? So my parents didn't do that. They just were like, okay, if he's impulsive, we need to learn to work with that. So it was physical activity every single day, right? Like, if you have a child that they say has ADHD, like, let's get them some fucking activity, especially get them outside into like wilderness. Because for people that are like, that have very, like, when you have what they consider a deficit in attention, it actually just means you're trying to capture all of it all at once. If you ask me, like, I'm trying to capture every fucking thing going on around me, and some stuff I just happen to find more interesting. Now, it's a skill and a tool for somebody like me to develop focus on stuff we don't want to hyper focus on. But when you realize that you have the ability of hyper focus doesn't, like, it's like, if we stop making this seem like it's such a negative thing and we foster this in people, where would we be as a society? Like because to a great degree, this totally dampens who a child is going to be. Like, it totally dampens who they are, right? And like, while like people like me may be harder to take, like, without the filter and stuff like that, for a lot of people, that doesn't mean that like we should automatically assume that it is some sort of disorder. Like, like how is it a disorder? Like, if the world went shit crazy, I guarantee you, like, if it got down to it is hunters and gatherers, we're bartering and fucking shit like that, I can guarantee you who the leaders of every single tribe will be. People like me. You know what I mean? Like, it'll be people that are willing to make very hard decisions, people that would, like, will be able to, like, no, we need to do this right now, like, type issue. And I just think that that's one of the reasons why they pathologized it in the first place, is it basically takes the will out of people when you prescribe them these medications. And a vast portion, I would argue that the vast portion of people that are diagnosed with ADHD are male.
That was going to be my point. Yeah.
So they're trying to pathologize manhood, basically.
Yeah. So I don't know if I told you this, but I have a short tenure in the doldrums of public education.
Yeah.
Public education is one of the most toxic places on the planet. Like, it is absolutely, like, the main reason as to why is because the folks who are running the policy and whatnot, they are only concerned about being correct and having and actually getting votes for, if you're the superintendent, for example. And they have don't give a fuck about the kids. It doesn't matter if it's a woke school or if it's a conservative type school. It doesn't matter if it's public education. There's obviously money involved as well to all this. That's when I started, like, kind of getting deeper into, like, what's really behind the curtain when it comes to anything government related. And then going back to the point of, yes, ADHD, it tends to be diagnosed more in boys. Right now, especially in public education, it's all co-ed schools for the most part. There are very few girls only, boys only. I think we should go back to that, having girls only, boys only schools, because girls and boys they get educated differently. They learn differently. They're interested in different things. They um, they have different needs when it comes to their growth,
Right.
and it that makes sense. But right now, public education is very feminized, and to the point where it's actually failing our boys.
Mhm.
Trying to, again, like what you're alluding to with, the boy that can't sit still is now being diagnosed with ADHD, is being thrown stimulants at him. It's like, really, what are we doing? Like that again, everybody has their own strengths and weaknesses, and we're not harnessing that um, very well at all. It's like, it's that analogy of you know, if we're grading an animal on how well they can climb a tree, well, the elephants are going to fail, but the monkeys are going to do well, right?
Mhm.
But if we're, I don't know, if we're rating on how much stuff an animal can carry, well, the elephant's going to win and the monkey's going to win. So like, or monkey's going to lose. So like, it's that analogy. Whereas we all have different roles to play in society, we all have our different strengths and weaknesses, but we're not harnessing that in a great way, especially from day one of schooling.
Right. I agree with you, but I just still believe it's totally on purpose. Like
Oh
we
yeah,
have,
yeah. When I say conspiracy theory, by the way,
uh,
it meant what the mainstream thinks of us.
yeah,
But yeah,
it,
yeah, I agree with that. I think it's completely on purpose for sure.
yeah. I mean, I just so we're gonna take this honestly like trait, like very very positive trait for like hunters, gatherers, military strategists. Like you need people that are able to process the information quickly and make a very spontaneous decision based on it. Meaning
Mhm.
like the impulse control needs to be down a little bit. Like in a lot of cases, a lot of situations that people with my kind of thought process, like a lot of the situations, overthinking it is very bad, and it can get
Mhm.
people like if it's a military type deal, or even like if it's a decision about going left or right if you're lost, like overthinking that can get you, like if you overthink it for hours, now you're lost in the dark, like
You're dead.
so make it, yeah, or dead, make a decision, right?
Yeah.
And I just think that they've beaten that out of people, and it's one of the things, like I always say, that like Idiocracy is not a movie, it's a prophecy. Like the
Speaking
dumbest,
of prophecy,
laziest,
yeah.
slowest, most fucking slope brain, smooth brain fucking idiots, are being made to seem as if this is like functionally okay. Like
Yeah.
not one dude should be fat. Like not one dude should be weak, even physically weak. Like as a male, that is what we do, right? And they've tried to diet, vaccinate, and pathologize, and pharmaceutically remove manhood, basically. Uh, and even with the women that have ADHD, like I mean, or that would have ADHD, like these are the people that would make command decisions about the entire fucking running of a household at a spot. Like like I don't understand how decision making, like quick decision making, quick thought process of the brain. It's the same. Like we've allowed people to tell us that this is a disorder, when just like we allowed people to say that 7 to 11 servings of grains is what should be served.
Yeah, it's a good
Like
segue. Yeah.
we've allowed this. Like if you
Yeah.
take a look at this, by the way, folks, this is the new food pyramid, and I'm very happy that they finally got to this shit.
Yeah.
Right? Like this is something that both Dr. Allen and I have talked about, extensively too. But I'm just, I don't know about you, but I'm waiting for the people to start defending ultra processed foods, because they have to hate this because RFK and Trump did it.
Yeah.
It's going to
Yeah.
happen. It's
Oh
going to
yeah.
happen.
That's why I was thinking about this too. Like, there's this huge trend in Gen Z, especially where they are getting into like the crumble cookies. And actually, I didn't know this. Raising Cane's. Have you heard of that restaurant?
Yes, I
Yeah,
have.
that's basically that's like hugely popular with Gen Z. I was like, what? Really? Raising
Yeah,
Cane's of all places? Anyway,
yeah.
but with the whole like Trump derangement syndrome, RFK derangement syndrome, if you will, I don't think we're gonna see that big of a change anytime soon in terms of like the healthiness of our nutrition in general.
Right.
I think the ultra processed food makers are still going to make their money
Yep.
regardless. I don't think it's going to change too much, but it's a good start at least. Is there anything on that pyramid that you disagree with?
I haven't. I honestly have not looked at it too much. I'm busy building, like, still busy building the back end portion
Sure.
of like all the features on our app and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I will argue that like whole grains, even whole grains, isn't necessarily something we should be like saying we should have a minimum of. Like, I do believe having a maximum. Like, if it's ground into flour, or if it's ground in any way, processed anyway, chemically treated anyway, that should be 10% or less of your total ultra processed food intake, or of your total food intake. Like our app, Hunger Free and Happy, it's about to come out. As you put stuff in, it'll give that item a percentage of ultra processing based off of the Nova scale, which is the globally accepted scale. We have like the AI does it for us. We research it. We check on them. We do it also. But so then it has the calories per meal of ultra process, and then it can give you a day of ultra processing. Like even my test guy, like my test user had less than 10% last week of ultra processed food,
Nice.
right? And I just think that that's a positive thing for everybody to start looking for. So while that's still on here, I'm not too fond of that. Like sugar, like processed sugars shouldn't make it anywhere on here. Like it should be considered a drug. I don't think it. I don't think it's on here.
Yeah, no. That's a good sign. Yeah.
That's a good sign. Here's my worry, dude. Like all this shit is very, very, very great. Either 2 or 4 years from now, or a year and a half to 3 years from now, they're just going to flip this over again. Like
Interesting.
there is no way that the people that are now at the bottom of the pyramid, or the people that are like have the least recommendation, there's no way they're not, just like you said, they're going to make their money. The bottom now, just so everybody understands, the bottom of the pyramid now, which was the bottom before, it was the base of the pyramid, right? They called it the base. The base of the pyramid, or the bottom of the pyramid now, as you see it, that is all extremely subsidized by our tax dollars.
Yeah,
like
lobbying too. Yeah.
Yeah, lobbying, like 10 to $15 billion a year of taxpayer money gets sent to big food, in like big sugar, corn, to make high fructose corn syrup, those sorts of things. Like, we should remove all of those subsidies and place them onto proteins, dairy, healthy fats, and some vegetables. We should give them to only local farmers. Like, I've gone through this a bunch of times. Like, people wonder how to fix all this shit. Like, take every major subsidy that happens for any type of corn, wheat, soy, flip that over and make it so that same amount of money gets distributed amongst local family-owned farms. Only local family-owned farms can do this. Like, the family or the group of people, it has to be actual people own this fucking farm, right? And you give them the subsidy, so then you allow them also to sell in their local market, right? And that will help out, right? That will push more healthy food out into the local economy. It'll get people spending money in their local economy, which is a big fucking thing. I don't know why we don't have more people do. Instead of a centralized bank where like all your money goes to Walmart, how about all your money goes to the local Ace Hardware store, owned by Dick and Shirley, and like then you stop over at the local farmers market, because all the farmers are there with their fresh produce once a week, and you grab produce from there. You go to your local butcher, your local cattle farm, and you get your meat from there, right? Like, we frankly shouldn't have to have huge supermarkets. We should have like that ship in stuff from all over the fucking country and world. Like, we should have the regional food. I bet you, and also if people ate more regionally, they'd be a lot healthier too, because the climate you live in that allows the fruit, vegetables, and livestock to grow and flourish in that area, that is the food you should mostly eat to help you be prepared for that area.
Yeah.
Like that type thing.
Yeah, I did a interview with Cooper Little from Independent Cattle Association of Texas not that long ago on my channel, Your Health Unplugged. And he talked exactly about what you said. Like, a lot of what gets pushed out in the government is based upon lobbying and who actually gets to their ear first, and also, shuffles them a little bit of money. So that's partly how the original food pyramid came about. Was the folks in the grain industry who were making all these processed grains, especially, were getting in people's ears and saying like, oh yeah, we need 14 servings of this. Yeah, sure. Why? What? And then and they found the convenient studies to be able to prove that, even though they're probably shit. So yeah, follow the money is a big part of that. And he was saying also, because he handles it's more the small farmer rather than the big industrial farmer. That's who he represents, is the small farmer, the local farmer. And he was saying, so made in the USA, that label, by the way, to be made in the USA, all you need is for the meat to touch the USA in some port, like some part of the processing process happens in the USA, whereas it could be shipped from New Zealand and come to the USA and just get wrapped in plastic, and it's made in the USA now. So there's a lot of issues with the labeling too, where it's not what you think it is. And then also these small farmers are getting actually pushed out in a lot of ways. Yeah, things are getting expensive. The incentives are out of whack. They're getting taxed, or even they're just coming up with a way to shut down the farm in general. So yeah, all in all, for what we can do, yeah, support your local farmer. There's a couple of sites actually that you can look at. I forgot the second one, but the first one would be beefmaps.com, where you can see who near you that can actually supply you some local beef, like legitimate USA made beef from their farm. And again, support local. And that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna get a deep freezer for 2026, and I'm gonna try to get me a quarter cow or a half cow. And by the way, the quarter cow is like running about maybe $1,000, and that can last you about 7 months. And if you guys are struggling to buy food and stuff like that because inflation and the job wages are stagnant and people are losing their jobs, that's a great way to do it, to kind of cough up $1,000 right away, and then you're good to go for you and your family for at least 3 months. So it's a great way to save money. So we're not only a health channel, but we're also an economics channel. We're a finance channel too.
Well, I do find that, like, when people talk about stuff like that, like how it's less expensive to eat, less expensive to eat like shit, that's total bullshit, right? Because what happens is, like, well, I'm fat because it's less expensive to eat healthy. Okay, save money by eating less calories of the shit you've been eating.
Yeah.
Because it's not about how much money you spent on it, it's the number of calories you spent on it, right? So if you're saying that you're fat because healthier food, like less caloric food, is too expensive, you can save even more money by eating less of what the fuck you're eating that would make you fat as fuck. Right? So it makes no sense. Or you could take the money that you've spent on 5,000 calories of food every single day and take that and transfer that over to 1,800 calories of food, of healthier food. And even though it's more expensive per calorie, you're healthier in the long run. It's dumb arguments like that. When it comes to the pyramid, my honest thoughts on it, like, I'm happy that it's finally out there. Not a fuck thing's going to happen. Like, I don't think the school lunches are going to change that much, at least right away. But nothing's going to really fucking happen, because people weren't eaten by the food pyramid to begin with. People were eaten by their addiction.
Right.
Like people are addicted to this shit.
I agree.
Period. Like, that's they're living on their addiction, and that's what I think is the biggest problem we have.
Yeah. One thing that I've come to realize recently is people have a different definition of what cooking at home means. Yeah. So this is funny. This is actually funny. I ran into this, having to dig deeper on this question with a client of mine, and says, like, well, what is that? I asked him because I was getting a little suspect as to, like, what they're actually doing at home. Cooking at home means you're slicing up the vegetables, you're actually, like, making a lot of stuff from scratch, and you're not necessarily getting a TV dinner from the supermarket, bringing it home, and then cooking it. That's not cooking at home.
Right.
Even though you are cooking it at home, it's, like, not what we think about when we're doing it in a healthy way. Like, you're actually having fresh ingredients, making it up into something that looks good. Hopefully from scratch, but, like, it's not like bringing a TV dinner or a ready-made meal, or, like, what do they call it, the stovetops of the world, the stuff that comes in a box, or especially the cakes are full of shit, actually. That's not the same thing, guys. Like, so that's something, especially for those who like yourself, Alan, who coach people about their nutrition. You gotta really dive into what cooking at home actually means. Because sometimes people misconstrue it as that.
Well, I think it's better than it's still better than a restaurant, right? Like sure. I it's like a halfway house, but people can still cook tremendously unhealthy at home. where it's still a lot of bread or like that. Like, don't bring loaves of bread into your house. Like, this is where it gets so crazy, right? Like, bread should be something that most of you people eat on such rare occasion, because most of you would never ever go through the process to bake bread. Now, if you bake your own bread and you try to do your thing, right? But the concept of buying a loaf of bread that has likely been in existence, like the loaf of bread you're buying has probably been in existence for weeks and it is still not stale, that should concern the absolute fuck out of you. Like, you are eating yoga mat. You are not eating food. Like, you are not eating real food, right?
Yeah.
And so it's still just an ultra processed, craze. I personally, like, Crystal and I take one day a week where I do most of the chopping and cutting. Like, I chopped up a bunch of vegetables. We chop up, a bunch of stuff. Sometimes we'll pre-do the meat. Sometimes not. We'll make rice for a couple of days because we eat a decent amount of rice. Like right now she has Asian marinated eggs. I'm having that, kimchi and rice for my lunch. Oh, dude, we found a great Korean grocer. His wife makes the kimchi from scratch. It is just. Then Crystal cooks great Taiwanese food. So we have marinated eggs. So I can't wait. But
yeah. Oh, sorry. Another thing that you mentioned, idiocracy, like in prophecies and stuff like that. Did you know South Park made an episode based on this way back when, before this even came out?
Yeah, flip
South Park,
the pyramid.
Yeah. South Park did that. It's crazy how these movies and shows, and Simpsons, by the way, has predicted a whole lot of stuff. Like, for example, didn't the Simpsons predict Trump winning the presidency?
Yeah, they did way before.
That's it's getting a little scary, actually. Like, are we living in a movie right now? Like, what's going on right now?
Well, we very well could be.
Yeah, the Matrix, if you will. Yeah, sure.
I mean, we got some crazy shit happening. Wait, I wonder what they're going to do next. Like, because here's the thing, and I really do believe it. We'll see people that are all of a sudden pro ultra processed food. I'm telling you, it will happen. It will like this. Like, it should tell you something how ridiculous about our society is, right? Like, I have this very weird dichotomy going on. I'm like massively anti-government, massively like I want to live off grid, blah blah blah. I'm also a pretty big Taylor Swift fan, right? So like, well, me and my wife got me into it. It's amazing, and frankly, she's like a poet. It's really amazing. But I'm able to like jive with stuff that she says because I don't need to agree with people politically. And the same way that I can look at a lot of the stuff on the right and I can agree with, but not like be frenzied about. Like, a lot of people on the right are frenzied about following Trump. Like, if you don't abide by everything this motherfucker says, it's a problem, and that's a problem for me because, very frankly, he's an idiot about most fucking things.
Yeah, I'll say that actually we're starting to see a lot of people breaking away from MAGA, at least because of the things like the list. And other things that they were promised to us that we didn't get. So I mean, personally, like, I'm in that category where I've sort of like separated myself from that in general. And if we shouldn't be this polarized anyway. We should be able to think for ourselves and not just go with the latest what's trendy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I just find it to be this wild thing where like a certain portion of the population is going to be like, no matter what. Like, I don't like talking about it, but did you see that that woman unalived herself with the ICE agent? Did you hear about that?
Oh, jeez.
She basically tried to run over an ICE agent, and they shot her. And people are like, ICE is shooting innocent people in the streets now. Innocent
they always say it that way. Yeah, of course.
Like, how can you justify this? Like, it's the same thing. Like, so first of all, it sucks this woman died. It sucks that you guys frenzied this woman to think that she should take it upon herself to try to run over immigration enforcement officer, like, because that's what happens. Like, they've worked themselves into this frenzy, and then they do stupid shit. Most likely they're on. I bet you money it'll come out that she was on some sort of SSRI too, like 100%. It's weird how we want to like medicate away my impulsivity, but we want, for people that are depressed, we want to like release their inhibitions, by putting them on shit. It's fucking very weird to me, right?
Yeah.
But there's already people way too happy this woman died. Like there are some people that are like, you got what you deserved. Like, frankly, play stupid games, win stupid prizes, but let's be real. This it's an unhealthy concept that she is like this, because that means that a lot of people are like this right now. We should not be celebrating. We should be like, how the fuck have you guys gotten so crazy that you think these guys who are trying to extricate people from our, from our society, who are clear, like in totality, the numbers bear no reprieve from the fact that our immigration policy is very broken, and it is very much a burden upon all of our society right now.
Yeah.
Very, right? We need to reboot.
Yeah.
So I get that, but like to celebrate this woman getting and I'm sorry, but justifiably taken out by ICE. She was trying to run one of them over. You try to run me over, I can guarantee you this, that like you may get me, but you ain't going to make it either. Like I can at any given time, right?
Yeah.
But we also have people being like, they cold-bloodedly shot her in the middle of the street. Like we have people celebrating her death, but when we also have people saying like they cold-blooded shot her in the middle of the street, like these two dichotomies can't exist, right. At all. And that's the problem. Like that's why people are going to argue. Like people are going to think that the pyramid, this food pyramid, people are going to think that this is way too good, that it solves all of our problems. People actually got to eat like that, motherfucker. like just because you flip the pyramid over doesn't mean that people are going to eat like it all of a sudden, right? Yeah. But people are going to be way too happy about this, and people are going to be way too fucking pissed about it. There are going to be people, you watch, there are going to be people arguing that ultra processed foods are not unhealthy for you, that it should not be any of a difference. But I'm telling you that we will see that people will be like, RFK is trying to kill people. He's trying to make the biggest thing they're going to say is he's going to try to make eating unaffordable because of like the emphasis taken away from all the ultra processed shit, Right.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a big cultural tug of war where the harder one side pulls, now the other side has to pull even harder to get it to get the flag on their end. Like that's what we're dealing with right now, and it's just gotten so extreme that that's the only way that we can draw our attention to it is people acting like crazy idiots, right. and being hyperbolic, if you will. Whereas in reality, most people are probably somewhere in the center of everything. But yet we're made to think that people are just living on hyperbole right now. And and with this whole pyramid thing, we'll see what happens. I mean, it's progress, great, okay, somebody's acknowledging that we shouldn't be having 14 servings of grains, great, fantastic. But like you said, most people are kind of set in their ways already, and I'm interested to see I'm interested to see how big food reacts and kind of what they put up with, because they usually they're very good at adjusting to whatever the regulation that the government puts out. They're actually extremely good at that. So for example, if they ban food dyes, for example, they're going to come with another way to do the same goal in the cheapest way possible. They're going to figure it out. They have the resources to do that. So it almost is if it doesn't matter what the government does, they'll find a way if you have enough resources to throw at it, so that's kind of how I see it.
Well, I completely agree with you. They'll find a way. And I think that a lot of people need to understand that the ultra processed food industry, their job is to make money, but I honestly, you can't possibly look at their industry and say that they don't have a secondary job of basically making the population sick. Like it is known. We should at least admit, even though there's people that watch this channel that disagree with this, but we should at least admit that food is an addictive substance, or at least can be, and the ultra processed food industry literally hires people to try to make their products as addictive as possible. Once you get there and you realize that it is not about health, it is not about anything like that, these people are trying to addict the population, and for the most part, I believe have addicted a huge portion of our population to ultra processed foods. Bro, I can tell you this right now. Whenever I talk to a new client about the concept of not eating processed sugar for 2 weeks, just the concept of it, the look on their face is what they know they need to do it, but it is dread. Like dread. Like I used to do this thing right when 15 Days to Slow the Spread came out. 15 Days to Slow the Spread of Obesity. Don't eat any ultra processed food or any processed sugar for 2 weeks. If you can't make it because of your logistics, like your life, you need to you need to fix that shit out. Like you need to adjust your life so you can cook for yourself.
Yeah.
But if you can't, just because you miss that shit, if you can't stay away, you're addicted. You've got an addiction. Like you're saying, you can't stay away from something that we know is bad for you for 2 weeks. And we had for a while, we had so many clients call us up after that, be like, holy shit, I'm addicted. Like, but imagine, and if you're out there in the audience, just try to stay away for 2 weeks. Don't eat anything of an ultra processed nature for 2 weeks. Only eat like raw vegetables. Like you don't even need them raw, but vegetables from raw, fruits from raw, and proteins from raw. Like if you want to put some butter in there, butter is pretty natural, right? Eggs, fine, but only eat whole foods for 2 weeks. If you cannot make it because you miss that food so much, like if you start getting a headache from not eating ultra processed foods, that means your body is going through withdrawals about something you've been fucking eating in that shit, and that's bad for you, right? Yeah. But if you can't do it for logistics, then you can figure out your life and maybe have a little bit more efficiency. If you can't do it, which is the vast majority of the reason for you just want that shit, you're addicted to it. And I bet you that would be a huge portion of the population,
I could say from personal experience, the last time I was above 200 pounds of fat, you could just call me fat in general. Yeah. The first thing I did was I got rid of sodas. That's the last time I drank soda, and I replaced it with water or something low calorie. It was like I didn't do anything else. I didn't exercise more. I didn't like move more. I didn't do anything else. I already lost 10 pounds in a week without doing anything.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, like that's it. We're drinking our calories. That's for sure. Yeah.
Well, a huge portion of that is one, the drinking. Yeah, it's definitely calories, but it was clearly keeping you in an inflammatory state. Like that 10 pounds was not just fat. Like you probably, even if you were killing the soda per day, it probably was still going to be only like 2 pounds of 2 pounds of fat from the soda. Sure. But what the rest of it was, it definitely showed you that it was keeping you in a systematically inflammatory state, even though you weren't super fat.
Right.
Like there's a reason. Like even for people that like say people, I'm like 190 pounds. Like a dude my size normally comes to me with like a pretty decent beer belly. They normally lose like 5 to 10 pounds in the first week that they cut out ultra processed foods, and that's because it's not water weight. It's inflammation weight. Like that's like we even used the wrong nomenclature. Like that's not water weight. That's inflammation weight. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. That's definitely especially when you lose it that fast. Like there's all this like extra inflammation, that you're carrying on you more so than anything. But then the rest of it, the extra fat will come later, because it doesn't usually go away in a week. Like that's not usually not that normal. Yeah. Right.
Exactly. So. Yeah. All right, dude. Hey, I might be live a little later on today, people, and you're more than welcome to join me. But I do need to get running right now. We're going to be doing this more often. We will probably be going live. Are you available tomorrow?
Tomorrow in the evening time, but probably not during the daytime.
Okay, tomorrow's Friday, right?
Yeah.
I'll play it. We'll play it by ear.
Yeah, no worries.
But we're definitely going to be talking way more about the app we're about to launch, and also, folks, it will be ready to go for like the general public probably in the next hopefully 5-10 days. But we're tapping up a few other things, and we're going to go from there. So I hope everybody has a great day. Alan, tell them where they can find you, sir.
I'm at your health unplugged on YouTube, as well as Twitter at unplugged_doc. You can check me out there.
Hell yeah. Oh, wait, hang on. We got a hi, Alan. February 14th. I will be 3 years, no bins, 120 pounds down. Everybody congratulate this fucking person. That's fucking rock star. Fucking rock star. Great goddamn job, Christina.
Keep it up.
All right, everybody. We will talk soon. I hope everybody has a great day. God damn.
Take it easy.